Pokemon gym leaders have had it far too good for far too long. They're known for being powerful trainers that test your skills as a player. And even when they aren't, people go out of their way to create new teams and movesets for them so that they live up to this reputation.
But what if it was the other way around? What if instead of improving the pushovers, we drag the tryhards down into the dirt with the rest of us?
That's right. We've ruined Kanto, we've ruined Johto, and today, we're going to ruin Hoenn by making all of its gym leaders as pathetic as possible.
Before we begin, let's go over the rules for this challenge. First, we have to use the same number of Pokemon that each leader originally has, along with their corresponding levels. It would be too easy to give each leader a single level 1 Sunkern, and that wouldn't make much of a video now, would it?
I'm in danger!
These Pokemon also have to be evolved if they reach the appropriate level. You can't stop puberty from happening, we don't have that technology.
We do actually. It's called holding the B button.
Okay, well, the leaders don't have that technology.
They are the technology.
Yes, don't tell them. They'll have an existential crisis.
We also have to give each Pokemon the best attacking move of its type that it can learn at their current level. However, TM and Egg moves will not be considered, as these are moves that you have to go out of your way to obtain.
We're creating a scenario where each gym leader is incompetent. They have no money for TMs or daycare because of their constant losses. And sure, each leader has a stock of TMs that they give out to successful trainers, but they can't take those for their own personal use. That's called embezzlement, which is a crime.
Not to be confused with bedazzlement, which is also a crime.
We're going to be using each leader's team from Pokemon Emerald as our template. So, instead of having Geodude and Nosepass, Roxanne could have 3 other rock types from generations 1 to 3, which were the only known Pokemon at this time.
And that brings us to our final point, something known as the physical special split. In modern Pokemon games, every damaging move is categorized as being either physical or special, depending on the properties of that individual move. However, prior to Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, this category was determined solely based on the move's type.
These 9 types were always physical, while the remaining 8 were always special. So, moves like Ice Punch, Bite, and Dragon Claw were not considered physical attacks.
This is how the world worked in Generation 3, so we decided to uphold this type-based approach when designing each leader's team.
Starting off, we have the gym leader of Rustboro City.
No.
Her first Geodude is now an Ammonite. This Pokemon has a pretty low attack stat, and because rock moves are physical in this generation, there's not much it can do to you.
Actually, there's not anything it can do to you. At level 12, it only knows Withdraw and Constrict, which has a base power of 10. With Normal also being a physical type, a Constrict from Ammonite would just feel like getting a flaccid 10-armed hug.
Roxanne's next Pokemon isn't much better, a level 12 Kabuto. It also doesn't have any rock moves, knowing only Scratch and Harden by this level. And, while it hits harder than Ammonite with its higher attack, it has lower defenses, so it should faint before becoming an issue.
Get that out of my face.
Her final Pokemon is now Larvitar. Bite is its only option for dealing damage, which is unfortunate because of Larvitar's low special attack.
It could also set up a sandstorm for chip damage, but with defenses like that, it wouldn't last long enough for this to be an effective strategy.
Unless Roxanne just uses it to obscure your vision so that she could knock your Pokemon out herself.
Cheating notwithstanding, Roxanne is now a complete pushover. To make things worse, her entire team is 4 times weak to grass.
If you start your adventure with Trico, Roxanne walks into Birch's lab and just hands you her badge right away, to save you both the trouble.
No, it's even quicker than that. You get out of the truck, and she's the person who opened the back. Next up is the fighting master, Brawly of Dewford Town. He heard what we did to Roxanne, so he ran away to his island and turned off the lights in his gym to hide from us.
But we can't be stopped. We plucked that Machop from his hands and replaced it with a Makuhita. This Pokemon is worse than Machop in almost every way.
Arm Thrust has the potential to be dangerous when paired with Focus Energy, since it can hit us up to 5 times, but that would require it setting up, and with defenses of 30, Makuhita isn't staying on the field long enough for that.
Literally, one good smack will send this guy flying out of the gym and straight into the ocean.
Meditite can stay as Brawly's second Pokemon, but these moves are getting a complete overhaul.
At level 16, it doesn't even have any fighting moves. It only knows Detect, Bide, Meditate, and Confusion.
This kind of tells a story. Meditite detects our presence, bides its time by meditating to decide what to do, then has confusion when he opens up his eyes and realizes he's halfway into Route 107.
Brawly's ace Pokemon is now Tyrogue. This is a baby Pokemon. It only knows Tackle. All of its stats are 35. And just to add insult to injury, it's only one level away from evolving into a powerful Hitmon thing. Sorry, bud, but ocean.
The water around Dewford is just going to be filled with Brawly's Pokemon.
That's how new challengers get to the island. They just walk across it like a bridge.
Team Aqua was right. We need more water to wash all these damn Tyrogues away.
The third gym leader in Hoenn is Watson, who specializes in the electric type. He saw the ever-growing mass of Tyrogues in the ocean and in a fit of fear, set up electrical traps in his gym to try and keep us away.
We rolled his Voltorb away and replaced it with another Voltorb. It learns its first electric attack at level 21, and wouldn't you know it, this Voltorb's only level 20.
Tackle is a physical move that works off Voltorb's low attack stat, and Sonic Boom always inflicts 20 damage. This could potentially be dangerous when paired with Voltorb's speed, but just knock it out quickly and you'll probably be fine.
You know what? Watson can also keep his Electrike. At first we considered the baby Pokemon Elekid, but on closer inspection, Electrike is actually weaker in nearly every single way.
How are you physically weaker and slower than a baby? What are you using those extra legs for, Electrike?
At level 20, Electrike has Spark as its best electric move. It also knows Leer and Howl to improve its physical capabilities, despite Electric being a special type in this generation. And finally, it can have Quick Attack, just in case it ever needs to outrun a baby.
Watson's Magneton is now a Chinchou. At level 22, it doesn't know any electric attacks.
That's okay, Chinchou. I didn't know any electric attacks when I was 22 either.
Just electric dance moves.
Oh my god, don't get near me, you'll be shocked by my abilities.
However, it does have Water Gun and Bubble, which use its higher special attack stat. You know, with Ground being the only super effective type against electric Pokemon, Chinchou is probably Watson's strongest team member.
Honestly, he probably is, because that title definitely isn't going to his ace Pokemon, who is now a Pikachu. It has the lowest special attack of any electric type as of Gen 3, except for its baby version, Pichu.
We joked in our Kanto video that Lieutenant Surge has a Pichu because he isn't emotionally intelligent enough to give it the love it needs to evolve. But look at Watson. This is a jovial, Santa-type character. You just know he smothers his Pokemon in love.
Even so, Pikachu is still a great pick for an awful ace. At level 24, its best move is Thundershock, and it can also have Growl, Tail Whip, and Quick Attack.
Pikachu has bad to mediocre stats across the board, but like many electric types, it actually has good speed, which is reflected in how fast it hits the ground.
Next up is Flannery of Lavaridge Town, who specializes in Fire-type Pokemon.
And also digging holes, apparently. Her gym has a workplace lawsuit just waiting to happen.
Her first Pokemon was Numel, and now it's Numel. But worse, it has poor defenses and speed, but a pretty decent special attack. Although, that doesn't really matter too much when its best and only fire move is Ember.
Next up, her Slugma is now a Growlithe. This Pokemon evolves by using a Fire Stone at any level. However, this is a world where the gym leaders are set up for constant failure.
Flannery is always losing battles, and is therefore always dishing out prize money. How is she gonna afford a Fire Stone to feed to her dog?
At level 24, Growlithe knows Ember, Leer, Odor Sleuth, and Roar. This dog's bark is definitely worse than its bite.
Because we didn't teach it to him.
Flannery's third Pokemon is now Vulpix, who also evolves by a Fire Stone. Rewind the video by 30 seconds to see our reasoning on why Vulpix does not become a Ninetales.
Vulpix is considerably weaker than Growlithe, with a base stat total that is lower by more than 50 points.
51 to be exact, but saying that just doesn't hold the same gravitas. At level 26, Vulpix knows Ember, Tail Whip, Roar, and Imprison. This is a bad thing.
We would have made Vulpix Flannery's ace, except that it learns Flamethrower at level 29, which would have made it an actual threat.
So then who did we choose for her ace? We went with Slugma, the lava Pokemon. Slugma has a great special attack, but is pretty squishy, which I guess makes sense for a slug.
At level 29, Slugma's main fire attack is, you guessed it, Ember.
How original.
Slugma also knows Harden and Amnesia, but even if it wanted to set up its defenses, a speed of 20 ensures that you'll get one good smack in before it does.
That's so slow, you could just walk up and pour a bottled water over it to secure the victory.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. A chance to beat up our dad.
Yes, in Pokemon.
Oh, yeah, sure. In Pokemon, yeah.
Norman specializes in normal-type Pokemon, and his opening Spinda is now a Meowth. At level 27, it has the moves Scratch, Growl, Bite, and Payday.
It's just like our dad to throw money at us and hope that makes us go away.
Too bad for Dad, Meowth is extremely weak with just one stat over 45. And to make matters worse, it's just one level away from evolving into a Persian and becoming somewhat of a threat.
Norman's Vigoroth is now a Farfetch'd. This is a normal flying-type Pokemon whose best normal and flying-type moves are Fury Attack and Peck. This is the 5th gym. That's awful.
It also knows Fury Cutter, which increases in power with each successive hit. But with those defenses, you'll be sticking it to this bird before that becomes an issue.
Sticking it to this bird? What am I, my inner thigh?
How many times do I have to tell you, stick to the script? Sorry, I said stick
to the
again.
script. What am I, my inner thigh?
Next up, we have Eevee, who knows Quick Attack, Growl, Helping Hand, and Tackle. Just like with Flannery, Norman has no money to buy evolution stones. Not only does he have to give out prize money to all his challengers, but he also has his Meowth spamming Payday to squander away any change he might be saving up.
Eevee could also evolve into Espeon or Umbreon through friendship. However, this is a man who didn't love his own child enough to give him a seat in the front of a moving van. This Eevee stays exactly as it is.
Until we fainted.
Norman's ace is, of course, Smeargle. This Pokemon has awful stats and only gets one move, Sketch. This copies the last move that it observes in battle. So not only is Smeargle incredibly weak, but it's also a plagiarist.
It can also only have one sketch at a time, so he only has one chance to use it against you.
You could literally teach Smeargle something useless like Helping Hand, and then it's helpless against you.
Or you could go in with a Voltorb and teach it self-destruct. Haha, sucks to be you, Dad. Your gym is destroyed. And also we're dead. But I still won.
Ooh boy, things are starting to ramp up now, because
Yeehaw!
the Flying Master Yoo-hoo! The Flying Master Winona has 5 Pokemon. Her leading Swablu is now a Delibird. This is a gimmick Pokemon that only learns one move through level up. Present.
This normal type move will most often have 40 base power, rarely have 120, and sometimes will even heal you. That's right, you could come out of a fight with Delibird feeling better than when you started.
And even if you do get unlucky and Delibird rolls the 10% chance for 120 power present, it's off of a 55 base attack without a same type attack bonus. Delibird's presence on this team is a gift.
Winona can have her Swablu back as her second team member.
You know what they say, if you love something, set it free. If it comes back to you, then shit.
Swablu becomes powerful eventually, but not quite yet. At level 29, its only flying move is Peck, which uses its 40 base attack.
Besides that, it has the status moves Growl, Safeguard, and Mist. As in, Winona missed when picking this Pokemon for her team.
I guess you could say she had clouded judgment. Now, come on, you got to say missed.
You
I
wrote
get
this
one
script. Write yourself better jokes.
I can't.
Her Pelipper is now Farfetch'd. Wait a minute. Is this is our dad's Farfetch'd again?
He's come to get revenge for us destroying his gym.
Oh, looks like he trained up to level 30. Does that make a difference to anything?
No, it does not. Thinking he could make a difference was truly far-fetched.
Next up, we have Butterfree. Bug and Flying are both physical types, which is bad news for Butterfree, who has a 45 base attack.
And to make it worse, Gust is its best flying move, and it doesn't even learn any bug attacks by level up until 47. The average lifespan of a butterfly is like 2 weeks. There's no way a Butterfree even gets that high before dying of old age.
So it has Gust, Poison Powder, Stun Spore, and Sleep Powder. God, that's a lot of powder to be floating around in the air.
And in a flying gym, that's going to be blowing around in everyone's eyes.
It's Winona's secret weapon. She just hopes that her opponent has bad allergies.
And now for her ace Pokemon, Winona's Altaria is now Ladian. This is a Pokemon known for being notoriously weak with a 35 base attack. It has the same typing as Butterfree, except that this bug flying type doesn't learn any bug or flying moves.
Comet Punch is its best move, but with those stats, it's gonna feel more like a massage than an attack. It can also have Safeguard because, trust me, status isn't the problem here.
And finally, Ladian has Baton Pass. because the only useful thing this Pokemon can do is get the hell out of battle.
Our next gym leader is a strange one, because they're actually a 2. Tatenliza specialize in Psychic-type double battles, so we also need to consider team synergy. Or lack thereof.
Okay, Peter, hear me out on this one. They start with an unknown. This is a gimmick Pokemon that only learns the move Hidden Power. It's perfect. And next, they could have another unknown, because there are 28 different forms of them. They're technically different Pokemon. So then their third Pokemon can also be unknown, which we can justify even more because Hidden Power's type and base power changes for each individual Pokemon. And then the fourth Pokemon is also unknown. But seriously, to be fair, we'll keep it to just one unknown. An L, of course, for obvious reasons.
Paired with Unknown is Medicham, for no other reason than it also learns Hidden Power by level up. So they have something to talk about while waiting for their opponents to choose their moves.
Medicham has a paltry 60 in both its attack and special attack, and the rest of its stats aren't anything to write home about either.
And sure, it does have the ability Pure Peter to... What?
It's supposed
Who
to
wrote the script?
It's supposed to be pure power. I just want to see if you notice.
What'd you do if I just steamrolled through it and everyone was like, yo, this guy doesn't know Pokemon at all?
Well, I said we were making these teams worse, right?
Give him moves that don't even exist. This guy's got fart cannon, crazy. Let me hit this line again. And sure, it does have the ability Pure Power to double its attack, but Psychic is a special type in this generation. Also, there are a number of moves that can just flat out negate a Pokemon's ability.
Medicham has Confusion as its best psychic move and High Jump Kick as its best fighting, which could actually be dangerous because of Pure Power. But if it misses, then Medicham is going to take heavy damage.
Of course. Then it just flies to the warp panel and keeps bouncing around the gym on the arrow tiles.
The next pair is Starmie and Jinx, chosen because both of these Psychic-type Pokemon do not learn any Psychic moves.
Starmie gets Water Gun, Rapid Spin, Recover, and Swift. Normal is a physical type in Gen 3, so Starmie's strongest attack works off of its much lower attack stat.
And as a side note, while Starmie is a Stone Evolution Pokemon, a Water Stone can be obtained near Moss Deep in exchange for something other than money. So we'll let Tatenliza have this one.
Jinx, on the other hand, is a bit more of a threat. Ice is a special type, and Jinx has a great special attack stat. Pair that with Ice Punch's 75 base power. Yes, a punch is special, we know that's weird. And you've got a force to be reckoned with.
Until you realize Jinx has 35 defense and can be taken down easily with basically any rock, bug, steel, or ghost move. Those fake tears are gonna become real pretty quick.
The final leader of the Hoenn region is Juan of Sutopolis City.
Hey Peter, I've got a joke for you.
Okay.
What kind of Pokemon does Juan use?
I don't know, what kind?
Water type!
Jeez, Shannon. Okay, let's just get back to the script.
Okay.
Water is one of the most abundant Pokemon types, so we have a lot to work with here. But why mess with perfection? His Love Disc is perfectly awful as a lead Pokemon. With absolutely terrible stats for a non-evolving Pokemon, Love Disc's best water move by level up is Water Gun. Do I really need to say anything else? There is nothing to love about this disc.
Juan's man, it's hard to say. Juan's Whiscash is now Quillfish. It has a decent attack stat, but say it with me, water is special in this gen. Sure, poison is physical, but the only poison move that Quillfish learns by level up is Poison Sting. So...
No, that one doesn't work. Let me try this one.
Quillfish, is that you?
Quillfish, are you with us?
Is Quillfish in the room? That's the noise that Quillfish makes when you squeeze it.
By level 41, its best and only water move is Water Gun, which draws off of a 55 base special attack. Not to spoil anything, but this might actually be the strongest Pokemon on Juan's team.
Which is sad, because you could beat this Pokemon with a sharpened pencil.
Replacing Celio is Clamperl. This Pokemon evolves using one of two very obscure items, the Deep Sea Tooth or Deep Sea Scale, which you obtain from Captain Stern in Slateport by trading him something you looted from an abandoned ship in the middle of the ocean. It's safe to say Juan will be holding on to this Clamperl for a while.
Clamperl only has 4 moves. Clamp, Earl, and 2 secret moves.
Where's the other 2 coming from?
Sorry. Clamp, Water Gun, Whirlpool, and Iron Defense. And while its special attack isn't too bad, these are all very weak moves. Anyone who loses to a Clamperl should probably retire from Pokemon training and become like a dentist or something instead.
The Pokemon world is filled with teeth. Somebody needs to take care of them. Dental hygiene is so bad in Hoenn that teeth are literally falling out everywhere. Stern is fishing them up from the bottom of the ocean.
Juan's Crawdont is now a Phoebus. This pathetically weak fish Pokemon only knows Splash, Tackle, and Flail. It only evolves into the incredibly useful Milotic after it feels beautiful. But I mean, who could possibly feel that way when standing next to Juan?
Now you must be thinking, Phoebus wasn't the ace Pokemon? There's something worse we could give to Juan? Technically, yes. Kabutops.
This is a rock-water type who learns one rock move at 65 and no water moves by level up.
Our rules state that Pokemon must learn the best attacking move of its type. Kabutops has neither of these, so we can load it up with non-damaging moves to make losing against it nearly impossible. It's no wonder this thing went extinct.
Let's send him back.
And there you have it. Every Hoenn gym leader has now been made much, much worse.
Join us next time for when we do the same to Sinnoh.
Nah, we probably won't do this again. Or will we? Thank you for watching, and subscribe for more ridiculous Pokemon videos.